Company P and Company Z are in the same risk class and are identical in every respect except that Company P uses debt while Company Z does not. The levered firm has rupees 18 lakh debentures carrying 10% rate of interest. Both the firms earn 20% on the operating profit of rupees 30 lakh. Assume perfect capital market, rational investors, tax rate is 35% and equity capitalization rate is 15%. You are required to compute the value of firm P and Z using net income and net operating income approach. Also calculate the weighted average cost of capital using net operating income approach. So we have to do both the methods again and find the value of both the firms as well as find the weighted average cost of capital. So let us first start with the net income approach. There are two firms, firm P and firm Z. So first we'll take the EBIT. They have said that both the firms earn 20% profit on the total assets of rupees 30 lakh. So on 30 lakh, we have to calculate 20% to get the EBIT. 30 lakh into 20%. How much you get?
6 lakhs.
6 lakhs. So it is 6 lakh for firm P and 6 lakh for firm Z. Now from that with less interest, so here they have said Company P uses debt, so only for P we will have the interest, and it says the levered firm has 18 lakh debentures, rupees 18 lakh debentures carrying 10% interest. So only for Company P we will have to calculate interest on 18 lakh. We have to calculate 10% interest. That comes to 1 lakh 80,000, and for Company Z it is nil because Company Z doesn't issue debentures, so it doesn't have debentures. Now
4,20,000.
4,20,000 is EBT for Company P and 6 lakh for Company Z. From this we less tax at 35%, so 35% of 4,20,000 we have to calculate. The tax rate is 35%. How much you get?
1,47,000.
1,47,000 and 6 lakhs 35% is
2,10,000.
2,10,000. So we minus it and we get the earning after tax, or we also call it as the net income. So 4,20,000 minus 1,47,000.
2,73,000.
2,73,000.
3,90,000.
And 3,90,000 is your net income. Now we have to find the value of debt, value of equity, and then add both to get the market value of the firm. So for that we will start market value of debt. Debt is there only in case of Company P, and the formula is interest divided by cost of debt. So interest is 1,80,000 divided by the cost of debt given in the question is 10%. So divided by 0.1, which comes to 18 lakhs. And for Company Z, it is nil because Company Z doesn't has any debt. The debt itself is nil. So therefore it will be nil. Then we'll find the market value of equity. The formula is net income divided by cost of equity. So net income for Company P is 2,73,000 divided by the cost of equity is here. Capitalization rate for an all equity company is 15%. So we'll take this 15% as the rate. So 2,73,000 divided by 0.15.
18 lakhs 20,000.
18,20,000 is the value of equity. Same way we have to do it for company P. The net income of company P is 3,90,000. So 3,90,000 divided by 0.15, that is 15%.
26 lakhs.
You'll get 26 lakhs. Now we'll add it and we'll find the market value of the firm, that is market value of debt plus market value of equity.
36
lakhs, 20,000 and 26 lakhs. So with the firm P which uses debt, its market value is more than firm Z which is not using debt. According to NI approach, if you use more and more debt, the market value of the firm will increase and the overall cost will come down. So now let's find the overall cost of capital. The formula is K naught, that is weighted average cost of capital, is equal to EBIT divided by V. So we'll do it for firm P first. EBIT is 6 lakh divided by value of the firm is 36,20,000 into 100.
16.57.
16.57%. Similarly, we'll do it for firm Z. 6 lakh is EBIT divided by 26 lakhs is the value of the firm into 100.
23.07.
This is how we solve it using the net income approach. Now the same problem, we have to find the value and the cost using net operating income approach. So let's start doing the net operating income approach. The net operating income approach is based on the formulas. So tax rate is given, therefore we will use the formula to find the value which has the tax rate in it. So value, then tax rate is given. So we'll do it for firm P first. Value is equals to EBIT, which is 6 lakhs into 1 minus tax rate, so 1 minus 0.35. This has to be divided by cost of equity, which is 0.15%, 15%, which is 0.15. So once you complete this, you have to add BT. B is nothing but the debt, the debentures that you have. So plus the debentures of firm P were 18 lakh. So 18 lakh into tax rate, that is 0.35, 35% is the tax rate. Once we solve this, we'll get the value of the firm P. So V is equals to 6 lakh into 3,90,000 divided by 0.15. I do 26 lakh plus
6,30,000.
6,30,000. So value for firm P
30,000.
32,30,000. Once you get this, we'll go for finding the value of firm Z. the same formula, EBIT 6 lakh into 1 minus tax rate, so 1 minus 0.35 divided by equity capitalization rate, which is 0.15, plus the value of B is 0 here because this company doesn't borrow. So we write plus 0 into 0.35. So 0 into 0.35 is 0. So we have to solve only this part, and therefore we get the value as 26 lakhs. 26 lakhs plus 0 is 26 lakhs. Value for company Z is 26 lakhs. Now the next thing that we have to find is the weighted average cost of capital. We found the value for P and the value for Z. To find the weighted average cost of capital, we have to first find the value of equity and then the weighted average. So we need to copy these two formulas. So here, first we'll find the value of equity, which is nothing but S is equals to V minus B. So here we'll do it for company P first. I'm finding S for company P, which is equal to the value of company P. Value of company P is 32,30,000 minus the value of debt for company P. So company P has borrowed 30 lakh, so it is 30 lakh. So you get 2,30,000 as value of equity. Sorry, the debt is 18 lakh.
Yeah, 18 lakhs.
The debt is 18 lakh. So 32 lakh 30,000 minus 18 lakh.
14 lakh 30,000.
14 lakh 30,000 is the value of equity for P. Now we'll find the value of equity for firm Z. So value of the firm for firm Z is 26 lakh minus the firm Z doesn't borrow anything, so the borrowings is 0, which is equal to 26 lakh. The whole amount is for equity. Now that we know both the firms' equity value, we can put it in this formula and find the weighted average cost of capital for both the firms. So first we'll do it for firm P. For firm P, K naught is equals to Ki, that is cost of debt, which is 10%. So I'll take it as 10 into value of debt, which is given in the problem 18 lakh, divided by value of the firm. For firm P, the value of the firm is 32 lakh 30,000. So we'll take 32 lakh 30,000. This will be the weightage of debt, and we multiply it with cost of debt plus cost of equity, which is 15%, into, we have to see the weightage of equity. For firm P, the value of equity is 14 lakh 30,000. So we'll take that 14 lakh.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
we should not do that KI is equals to 10% into 1 minus 0.35, like 1 minus tax.
yeah, correct. There is tax rate given. So we have to take the cost of debt after tax. We cannot take it as 10%. So first we will take after tax cost of debt. So KI is equals to 10% minus, sorry, 10% into 1 minus
0.35.
Yeah. So tax rate is 0.35. So 10% into 1 minus 0.35, which will be equal to 6.5. So here we will take 6.5% as cost of debt because we are taking after tax cost of debt. The given value here, they have not mentioned it is after tax. It is just said the levered firm carries debentures at 10% rate of interest. Because the tax rate is given, we have to find it after tax. So that comes to 6.5%. So if we solve this now, we'll find the weightages.
3.62.
Just a second. 3.62 we get for debt plus equity 14,30,000. First you should find the weightage. 14,30,000 divided by 32,30,000. Sorry, here I should take 30,000.
6.64.
Weightage is 0.44 into 15. If I do 6.64. So 3.62 plus 6.64. When we add both, we get the weighted average cost of capital, which is equal to
10.26.
10.26%. Similarly, we have to do K naught for firm Z. So for firm Z, K naught is equals to, there is no debt in firm Z, so 0% interest into 0 divided by the value of the firm, which is 26 lakh for Z. Plus the cost of equity 15% into value of equity 26 lakh divided by value of the firm 26 lakh. See here, value of equity for Z you found out 26 lakh and value of the firm is also 26 lakh. So the answer would be 15%. Because anything multiplied with 0 is 0, so it's only 15 multiplied with 1. If I do 26 lakh divided by 26 lakh, I'll get 1. So the answer is 15%. So this is how you have to solve the problem on net operating income approach. I think we have done 3 sums by now. And the 10th one is repetitive of 9th. So I will just remove it. I'm not going to solve it. And maybe in the next class, we will solve few more sums. So by now, I hope at least you know how net operating income approach sums are to be done. Just look at the 10th one. It is similar. Instead of P and Z, it is A and B. And the same 30 lakh, 20% profit, 18 lakh debentures. So it is exactly same. We will not do this. I'll get some other sum in the next class. And we will do that on net operating income approach. Till now, I think we have done 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll get a sum tomorrow or in the next class where tax is not given. So if tax is not given, we use the first formula. So how it will work, we will understand that as well, using without tax one value. So maybe 2 more sums I will do, 2 or 3 more, and we will finish net operating income approach sums. Now we will start with some part of the theory of Modigliani-Miller approach, so that next class, if possible, I can finish net operating and start with MM approach. Let's just look at some part of the theory and maybe we can revise later again if you don't understand any part or if you feel that some part should have been repeated. So now, the Modigliani-Miller theory is actually based on very interesting aspect which is called as arbitrage. So we will first understand what is arbitrage. Can anybody tell me, have you heard what is arbitrage?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. What is arbitrage now? Arbitrage is basically you buy in one market at a lower price and sell in another market at a higher price. So let us take an example. You go to Dubai and you know that the gold in Dubai is cheaper than in India, right? The gold rate in Dubai is cheaper than in India, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what you do, you go to Dubai to visit certain places, and while coming back, you buy gold from there because you had money left and you feel, let me buy some gold for myself or for any other reason. So you buy gold from there and you come back to India. Once you come back to India, you see that you had bought gold maybe at 40,000 for 10 grams, and in India the rate is 50,000 per 10 grams. So you feel, anyways I have bought extra gold, I just bought it because there was money, so let me sell it in Indian market. I don't want that much of gold. What you need, you keep it, and the rest you sell it. So suppose you sell 10 grams of gold, you bought a coin and you're selling it now here. So what is your profit that you earn? You bought it for 40,000 from Dubai, 10 gram gold, and you sold it for 50,000 in India. So what's your profit?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000. That is called as arbitrage gain. So arbitrage is a process where you buy from one market where the prices are low and you sell in the other market where the prices are high. And by doing this, you will gain out of it. So we call it as arbitrage gain. Now you would be wondering, what is that arbitrage concept going to do here? Here we are talking of capital structure, debt and equity. So why will we buy from one market and sell in another market? Here, Modigliani and Miller has tried to make, there are two companies, one is levered and one is unlevered. So it says levered and unlevered, you treat them as two markets. So you buy from the market where the prices are low. That means you buy the shares of the company whose prices are low and sell the shares of that company whose prices are high. By doing this, you will get arbitrage gain. And if you do this, the market price of the shares will be same for both the companies in the coming days. Okay, now how it will be same also we will understand. Suppose now you went to Dubai, bought gold, sold in India, and you earned 10,000 profit. Looking at this, your father feels, suppose he's a goldsmith or he is into that kind of a business, he feels it is so good to go buy and come and sell here and we are making profit. So he will go there and not taking into account any rules, regulations, government laws and all. I am just taking a simple example. We are assuming free trade. Anybody can go to Dubai and buy any amount of gold possible. And I'm trying to explain you this example. So I know there are many restrictions. It is not that easy. You can't go and buy and sell. But just to explain you the concept of arbitrage, I'm removing all the terms and conditions. We're simply understanding it with small example. So suppose your father feels, let me go to Dubai and maybe buy 100 grams of gold or 500 grams of gold and come back here and sell it at a higher price. So through this, I will start making profit. So he visits Dubai, he buys gold and he sells in India. Looking at this, the other goldsmiths or the other vendors also start feeling this is working so well, and why should we be sitting in India and getting gold at the whatever price, then make ornaments and then gain very little. So everybody starts going to Dubai to buy gold from Dubai and sell it in India. Now tell me, what will happen if all of us go to Dubai and start buying gold in Dubai? What will happen to the gold demand in Dubai?
It will
It will
increase.
increase.
It will increase. When demand increases, what happens to the price?
Increases.
It will also increase.
Correct. So if all of us go to Dubai and start buying gold, the gold price from 40,000 will keep increasing because demand for gold has increased. So people there will say, if you want gold now, you have to pay more. So maybe from 40,000, the price will become 45,000. So the price increased because demand increased for that product where the price is low. Agreed for this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Now all of us get the gold and sell it in India. All of us are selling. So what is happening in India? Supply of gold is increased. Correct? And when supply increases, what happens to the price?
Price will
Decrease.
Price will decrease. Correct? When there are no onions in the market, we are ready to pay 50 rupees, 70 rupees kg for onions. But when there will be production, things will go normal. You will get onions for 10 once the supply increases, there are no many buyers, but there are lots of products, then the price will decrease. So same will happen in India. Everybody is getting gold from Dubai, selling in India. And people in India are like, we don't want so much gold. The supply is so high, people have stopped buying it now. So what we should do, if I have to sell gold, I have to decrease the price. So from 50,000, I have to bring the price down so that people can buy gold from me. So it will decrease, 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 and maybe it will also reach to 45,000. Now the price in Dubai is also 45,000 for 10 gram gold, and in India also it is 10,000 for 10 gram gold. So what has happened in this process? We have bought both the prices at equilibrium. We have bought them at the same level. So what Modigilani Miller is trying to say, if you buy shares of a company whose value is less, and if you sell shares of a company whose value is high, this buying and selling process will increase the supply and demand, and there will be a time where both the companies will come at a level where their prices will be same. They will reach at equilibrium. So why all this thing he is explaining? He is trying to say, whether you borrow or you don't borrow, whether you have equity or you don't have equity, doesn't matter. That is not what is going to affect the value of the firm. What will affect the value of the firm is whether the firm shares are available at low price or high price, whether the firm is undervalued or overvalued. And once both the firms are differently valued, people will start doing arbitrage. They will buy one company shares, they will sell another company shares. When they do this arbitrage, at a point, both the companies will come at the same level. So he is trying to say value capital structure is irrelevant to the valuation of the firm. He's supporting net operating income approach. Net operating income approach also said, do whatever with your debt. You borrow, you don't borrow, you take equity, you don't take equity. Doesn't matter. Value of the firm will remain same. Modigilani Miller says, fine, I support net operating income approach. Capital structure will not affect the value of the firm. But his theory didn't give any justification. He just said it will not affect. Why it will not affect, how it will not affect was not mentioned. So Modigilani and Miller went one step ahead and he said, it will not affect is fine, but I am giving you the justification as to why it will not affect. So he is gone a step ahead for that, and that step is arbitrage. So through arbitrage, he is trying to explain that the value of the firm will come to equilibrium at a particular point, and it will not affect the capital structure decision, will not affect. Clear? This was the gist of the entire theory. I have not read a single slide. I just told you what is arbitrage, connected it to MM. Any doubts?
No, ma'am, got it.
So his theory is only this much, but he explains it using a lot of assumptions, a lot of prepositions, and then there are a lot of people who have criticized him also. So there are a lot of criticisms also that we'll have to understand. And in doing all this, he gets into new concepts. Concepts like homemade leverage. Now, what is homemade leverage? It cannot be like, homemade food, homegrown food. So what is homemade leverage? Leverage is loan. How can you make loan at home? So homemade loan, it is like that. So what does it mean? How does it apply? All that we will understand through his theory. Let me see how much we can complete, and then till 3, whatever slides I can complete, rest we can continue in the next class. So Modigilani Miller approach, the MM thesis, it is called as MM approach also. The same person, these two people, Modigilani and Miller, you will also find them in the next unit because they have given a theory for dividend policy also. So they are very popular in giving theories, and some part of their theories are applied also, but because of assumptions, their entire theory could not be applied. So you'll have to remember these people because they'll come again in the dividend chapter. Okay, the MM thesis relating to the relationship between the capital structure and cost of capital and valuation is akin to the NOI approach. Akin means similar. So MM thesis or MM approach is similar to the NOI approach. They are trying to say that he follows the route of net operating income approach. The net operating income approach does not provide operational or behavioral justification for the irrelevance of capital structure. So the problem with NOI approach was they just said that it is irrelevant. But why it is irrelevant? What justification? Nothing was given. So that's the reason the approach came up. The significance of approach lies in the fact that it provides behavioral justification. Why behavioral justification? Because it is the behavior of an human. Okay, a human tendency is wherever I'm getting anything at low price, I will go and buy there. And wherever there is something at high price, if I have that product, I will sell there. So this is our behavior, human tendency to buy at lower price and sell at higher price. So they say he is given a behavioral justification. This is how people will behave, and that's why capital structure will not affect the value of the firm. Okay, so he provides behavioral justification for constant or overall cost of capital and therefore total value of the firm. So let us understand what are his assumptions. Some of his assumptions are, he tells that there is perfect capital market. Now, perfect capital market, that's the first assumption. Under that, there are 6 points. You might have gone through this assumption in the security analysis paper also, but I'll just revise it in short. Under perfect capital market, people believe that securities are infinitely divisible. Now, what is infinitely divisible? Anybody? What are securities? Securities are shares, and they say shares are infinitely divisible. Infinitely divisible means you can divide them into decimals also. Can you buy 0.5 shares? Yes, no.
No, ma'am.
No, because if you have to buy one share, whole number. 1, 5, 10, 20, 100 is fine. But you cannot buy 10.5 shares, 1.25 shares. But this assumption says you can buy. So it is an assumption. In real life, it's not possible. They are trying to say shares are infinitely divisible. That means you can buy 0.1 share also. You can buy 0.8 shares also, as per this assumption of perfect capital market. Whereas capital markets are imperfect because this is not possible. The second, investors are free to buy and sell securities. So this is true, but not 100%. If we are free to buy and sell securities, that means we could have bought any number of shares, but that is not possible because there is a limit by SEBI on all the company shares. Because if I start buying one company shares, it is like I'm trying or making an attempt to take over that particular company. So that company will also be alert and it will not allow me to buy more number of shares. So from both the ends, there will be a fight kind. So SEBI intervenes and then decides what will happen and what not. So we are not free to buy and sell securities. There are certain restrictions. Investors can borrow without restrictions on the same terms and conditions as the firm can. This is an important point. I want you to tell me or throw some light on this. If a company goes to borrow from a banker, and if I as an individual go to borrow from a banker, do you think the banker will give us loan on the same terms and conditions and the same interest rate?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why no? Because the company goes and borrows in bulk. If a company goes, suppose TCS goes to borrow, they will borrow 500 crores, 600 crores. If I am going as an individual to borrow for a car loan, maybe I will buy 5 lakh, 10 lakh borrowing. So for 5 lakh, 10 lakh car loan, the terms and conditions will be different. The interest rate will be high. Whereas for a company which is borrowing 500 crores, 600 crores, their loan procedures will be different and their interest rates will be comparatively lower than what I am paying because they are doing bulk borrowing. And when a person does bulk borrowing, the interest rate is comparatively low than an individual or a retail borrower. So this assumption is also not true in real life, but MM says it is true. And if you remove this assumption, his theory won't work well. So he says that investors can borrow in the same with the same terms and conditions like the firm can. So all these are assumptions. Why we call it as an assumption? Because they are not true. So I'm assuming it to be like this. Okay, the next is there are no transaction costs. This is another assumption. You go and open a demat account and try to trade. You will have to pay brokerage fees. You cannot trade for free. So there are transaction costs and there is brokerage fees that exist. So this assumption is also not true. That means we are not into a perfect capital market. Okay. The next is information is perfect. That is, each investor has same information which is readily available to him without cost. And last, investors are rational and behave accordingly. So fifth one, information is perfect. How many of you believe that each one of us have same knowledge of the stock market?
No, ma'am.
No, we don't have, because if I am a broker, I'll have more knowledge than you people like an investor. Okay, and if I am a company owner, I will have more knowledge about my company's shares than the broker or the investor. So there is something called as insider information, which is available only with a few people, and on that information they try to make profits by investing in stock market. It is not available freely to everybody. So this is also an assumption. And the last one, investors are rational and behave accordingly. This can be true because only a rational person who's not mad or who's not foolish will think and invest in stock market. So they are rational, they can think, and they will behave accordingly. So this is the first assumption, perfect capital market, under which these 6 points, if they hold good, then you can call it as a perfect capital market. Let's do the next assumptions in the next classes. So the totally 5. So we have finished the first. 4 remaining in next class we'll do with the prepositions in the graph and how his theory talks about arbitrage, what is the process of arbitrage, limitations and criticisms.